another lit video. Back in the professional. And yeah, we gotta stay lit. We gotta stay lit for everybody. Alright? So as long as y'all lit, I'm lit. Alright. Thank y'all for joining. You know, of course we going live every night. And I want to make sure that y'all know we're going live. Okay. So since we out here and we was here last night and we seen everything that happened last night, let me give y'all a recap about this cheating wife. Everybody was like, oh, she didn't take account. She took accountability. She took accountability. He cheated first. He cheated first. Listen, cheating is cheating. I can't believe the amount of women who are in the comments justifying her cheating. I am ashamed of y'all. I thought, but y'all, I forgot y'all girls. Y'all girls. That's what girls do. Girls. Y'all take up for a woman cheating. He was cheating on her first. Y'all out of line. I can't believe y'all. I literally can't believe y'all. Yeah. What? All right, so let's get into it, man. I'm not finna hold y'all because, again, like I said, the ladies, y'all justifying her cheating, but we're gonna get into more of it. We're gonna finish the story so we can get the full context, and then, you know, but just know he may have cheated first, but she still cheated. And then, but he got caught after the fact, but she still cheated. So cheaters cheat. Cheaters gonna be a cheater regardless. Okay?
All right, so it is update time. I haven't posted in the last 2 days because I have my own shit going on, but I did do lives, so whatever. But anyway, so we're gonna talk about the conversation that I had with Jess, who I found out that Anthony, my husband, was dealing with. So Jess and I ended up having a conversation. Girl, Julie, Anthony, Guy, they left. It was just like, okay, this is what needs to happen. Julie was kind of on standby just in case, but Jess is not the type of person who is like a rowdy type of person. Like, she's just not like a drama-filled person, so nobody was really worried about the situation. But anyways, I stood there and I was talking to her. And I asked her some questions, like basic questions that I wanted to know, and she answered them very honestly, very maturely. So about Alabama. The Alabama story, yes, that was Jess. It wasn't girl. So Jessica did end up telling me like what had happened. They drove out there. He had work, and he had invited her to go with him. Obviously, I couldn't go. My baby was probably like 3 weeks old, so I wasn't able to go. So he ended up taking her. They weren't able to answer. Well, he wasn't able to answer the phone because, like I said, they were having the time of their lives. That's when they were having the time of their lives. Again. So, anyways, this is everything she's telling me. Here's the real fucking tea, y'all. Her daughter looks like my son. Her daughter, who is 16, looks like my 4-year-old child. like identical. She doesn't look like my daughter. She looks like my son. And it's not to say that she looks like a boy, because she doesn't look like, she's beautiful, but she looks like my son. And we always say that, we say that joking, so we're like, oh my gosh, he looks like your daughter. I'm not gonna say the daughter's name, I'm not doing that, but I'm like, oh my god, he looks just like your daughter all the time. Like, it's a joke that we have. So she ended up telling me her and Anthony dated before I met her. And they dated for a while. So they, mind you, I knew her 20 years. Her daughter's 16 years old. So they were like secretly dating. He was in another relationship at the time. And sorry about that. He was in another relationship at the time, and she was dealing with him on the side. Y'all. She was dealing with him while he was in a whole nother relationship. Anyways, so it was a really like secretive thing that I didn't even know, but obviously it was in the beginning of our friendship. So, we were kind of getting to know each other a little better than what we already did. Obviously not enough. So she ended up telling me that they used to like, have their little situation going on for 4 or 5 years, like 4 or 5 years. Before him and her and I became friends. So, and while we were friends, it was such a long situation. Whatever, that's who cares? I mean, we do care, right? So anyways, she did tell me that they ended up having a child together. So her daughter, who was 16 years old, and I thought she just had a deadbeat dad. And my husband was really amazing with her. Like, he loves kids though. So
all along the husband was a deadbeat dad.
It wasn't something that was questionable to me. What was questionable though is when I met my husband, she hated him so fucking much. She hated him so freaking much. It was so weird. Like, all my friends thought it was the weirdest freaking thing that she just hated him so much. And we all thought it was because, other situations that he had going on, she found questionable. So now we put two and two together. Like, okay, now we understand why they really did. Like, it wasn't like she hated him. Let me not say hate. They just really did not get along for a very long time. But then things started getting better. Like, they were cool again. They would laugh. We would all drink. And I didn't think anything of it because of how much they hated each other in the beginning. Now to find out that her oldest daughter is my husband's daughter. My husband had a 16-year-old child. So yeah, she ended up telling me that part of the story.
He was a deadbeat dad.
It was shocking, but it was like how I was so in shock that there was like no feeling at that point. Like, the feelings were like, I was numb, kind of. But my best friend and my husband had a child together. Now, I didn't confront him about this yet. So she's telling me everything that I had questions about, plus more. But I felt like at that time, like I said in my previous videos, I wanted to have a conversation with her because I felt like she owed me that because of how long I knew her. And yes, him and I were married, so I get it. He should have also been the person to say like, hey, in the beginning, 8 years, like how 8 years? And then for the first 4, maybe, you guys hated each other. And now all of a sudden, maybe the last 4 years, I didn't get the time in yet at that point, but maybe the last 4 years, all of a sudden, everything's okay. We even have pictures like of all of us together. So she ends up telling me about that, and then she ended up telling me that when she would spend the night at our house, which happened often, we used to have a lot of drunk nights, and I didn't want her to have to drive home with her daughter and son, that them two would have the time of their lives in my daughter's room down the hall while I'm drunk, sleeping, passed out. And it was like it was their goal to get me drunk, sleeping, passed out. Every single time, y'all. Every time I was the one. And I'm not even like a lightweight at all. I feel like she's more of a lightweight, and she was the one who was making our drinks. So it was kind of it was a little funny that I was always like the superest, drunkest, if superest is a word.
She making
So,
excuses of
anyways, she
why
gives
she
me all the
cheated
tea,
again.
saying that, they slept together very often. More than me and Guy, obviously, for all you people who probably are thinking that. So, there's that. So, I get everything that I needed from her, and we actually it didn't end like on like let's hug and be besties again. It didn't end like on a bad note, like fuck you, I want to kill you, or anything like that. It ended like, okay, I gotta go, like I'm gonna go now, thank you, all right. And she said sorry again. So I ended up leaving. I had Julie pick me up because I came in Julie's car. So I texted her to come pick me up. Plus, I wanted to give her the tea. And I did. I gave her all my tea. And she said, well, you need to talk to Anthony now. Like, I feel it's only right. Like, you're owed that much. Like, you gave him what he needed to know about
Oh
what
yeah.
happened with you and Guy. Now it's time for you to find out from his side or his point of view, even though he should be the one who tells you that. Because at this point, the D word at the courthouse is like, this is mutual. Nobody gets one thing or the other. Like, it's a mutual, like, let's figure this out. So I call him, and he was with Guy and girl. Those three were together.
Mm-mm-mm.
And Julie, I had asked Julie, like, hey, he feels like we need to meet in a public place. Like, do you want to come? And, like, I'll go talk to him, and you go wherever you got to go and kind of just wander around. So I meet up with him, and we went to this place called Arizona's. I think it was Arizona's. So him and I are sitting at a booth. Everybody else was at the bar. So I ask him, tell me the truth about your child. You will not believe what this mother sucker said to me. And I was just like, the nerve that you would have to even, like, who the hell do you think you are?
She's still trying to justify why she cheated. I don't understand how y'all don't see this. Like, I cheated, but he had a whole nother baby. I cheated, but yeah, he also cheated before me. And then I caught him because I was so worried about what he was doing after I cheated. Then I realized he was going to move on with someone else. I had to figure out more about him just so I don't take all the blame. If I don't take all the blame, I could just put it off on him. That's how we doing it.
I know who I am. I love. All right, update. So we meet at Arizona's. We're at the bar area, and of course, the first question that I ask him was, "What's up? Why the fuck for this long? Not even just 4 years, but before." Now, for everybody that has the question of how the hell did you have a best friend for 20 years and you didn't know who her baby daddy was? Bitch, because she didn't want me to fucking know. And when I met her, she had a whole man who she said was her baby dad, and he was a deadbeat. They broke up. He left her kid. She never wanted to put him on child support because he left her kid. And she doesn't want to force anybody to be financially a parent that doesn't want to be one. That's not my fucking job to make her feel otherwise. So let me just put that out there. That's not the type of person I am. And okay, pass your judgment.
Let me
But
find one
anyways,
who want to
so
be
yes,
financially
them
independent.
two dealt with
No
each
child
other while
support.
she had a boyfriend and he had a girlfriend 20 years ago. They cheated on both of them cheated on their spouses, and she ended up pregnant with her child. Anthony ended up being the father. Okay. So fast forward to now when I met Anthony. She didn't want Anthony to be in her daughter's life. her decision. That's their decision that they made before I came around. So he wasn't. His first child that he had was five when I met him. So I didn't know anything that he had another kid at this point. So he ended up seeing that Jessica was my best friend. And when I bought her around, like I said, she didn't want anybody to know that he was the father. He didn't want anybody to know that he was the father. So when I bought her around, she ended up telling him, like, I'll let her know. Because he told her, oh, well, I love her. Like, I want to marry her. I really want to be with her. So don't say anything about our child. And she was desperate. And she told him that, okay, she'll keep it a secret if he starts to mess with her again and allow her to be the side piece. I don't know what his logic was behind agreeing to that, but he did. They ended up sleeping together. He enjoyed it. She enjoyed it. She was willing to do things in the room and put objects in places that I wasn't willing or felt like should be in certain.
Hey, can we be honest for a second? I know y'all don't like when I stop, but if you gonna give it to me, I mean, you gonna give it to me, and we ain't gotta be frank. We ain't gotta be together. I can go back to my wife, and then I can come back. Give it to me. Give me two. Give me two, okay? I'm fucking your air. And going back home to my wife, just let me shower first.
Certain places. Whatever. I guess that's why men do what they do when they cheat. According to everybody, all the men who are posting, men cheat for the sex and women cheat for the emotional bullshit. Anyways, so yes, he dealt with her for the 4 years because he didn't want her to tell me about their situation with their daughter. He didn't want me to know about that situation. However, he ended up sticking with it, obviously, because I wasn't open to certain things that she was. So fast forward to girl. So for everybody who keeps fucking asking why I'm like showing so much justice to Guy and not saying his fucking name is Aaron. Okay? He doesn't give a fuck if you know his name now. His name is Aaron. So
Aaron is a
was a
dirtbag.
part of the story because him
Aaron
and
is a
Anthony were best
dirtbag.
friends. Girl got involved because she was dating Aaron. And Jess was a part of their whole little crew. So Jess used girl, who I can't say her name. Jess used her to be the middleman between Anthony and Jess. So she would have Aaron have Aaron drop off Anthony to girl, and girl would take Anthony to Jess's house. This is everything they fucking did to keep what they had going on a secret. And to make it seem like the whole time it was girl who I should be suspicious about. In which I was. I mean, I wasn't obviously in the beginning until Aaron told me, like, hey, girl is dealing with him and her daughter is his. And it's like, oh my God, he fucking told me all this, but he was really talking about this bitch the whole fucking time. So everything that I'm telling you is stuff that I'm receiving from Anthony. So this is all the information that I'm telling you he's given me. So for all of y'all wondering if girl's child is Anthony's or Aaron's, that's still questionable. Because Anthony ended up telling me that yes, while Aaron was also messing with girl, Anthony also slept with her a couple times too. So this is all. Listen, fucking listen. I can't make this up.
Yeah, you
So he
can.
said, yes, she was supposed to be the middleman, but because we were around each other so much, it ended up happening. We ended up doing the do, and she really doesn't know if Anthony or Aaron is the father of her child. They did do a DNA test. However, it's that recent where Aaron and Anthony do not know yet. The results haven't been released yet. So it must have happened within the last couple weeks. Like I said, this is stuff he's telling me. You'll ask him if you have fucking questions. That's on y'all. So he tells me about girl who, like I said, I can't release her name. And I take all this information. And of course, yes, I cheated on him, and I was dealing with Aaron, which, by the way,
Cheater.
was, something that they decided to set up. So Anthony and Jess thought it would be a great idea to have Aaron try to see if he can make a situation happen with me, because I guess he didn't want to be the only fucking guilty person in a marriage. It was just like, why not end it? But anyways, I took the fucking bait. Yes, the fuck I did. I took the fucking bait. The next part that pissed me off was Anthony, after telling me all this, feels like at that point he didn't know whether or not he wanted to let go of all of the situations that he had going on and only be in a situation with me. So I asked him, like, well, what is your plan? Because we are married. We need to now either go to counseling. We need to talk about it. We need to figure out what our next step is. And
Divorce.
he asked me one question, and I will tell you what that question was and what happened when he asked me that question. So, for everyone who is asking, due to high demand, we have had a discussion, and Anthony has agreed to do an update. All right, just to post a quick update. I try to do a live because I'm packing and I don't have time to stand here and do an update. But unfortunately, because I started talking about how the people who call me all different types of shameful words on comments end up in my direct messages, my DMs as we call it, because I started saying that on my live and also saying what they tell me to do, like elimination and things like that. I have gotten reported. Thank you so much for reporting me. That was so sweet of you.
Let me
However, I'm
check
not
to see
going
if I'm in her
anywhere. I
DM.
appealed it. I'm sure if they want to keep it blocked, that's cool. But for right now, it's looking like I won't be able to do any types of lives or join lives or gaming, anything like that until the 18th. So blame those people, because I was going to go live while I was on vacation and do all my updates that way. I'm not going to be given any updates until TikTok unlocks me from doing lives. So that's February 18th.
Yeah, let's do this.
At the airport, where am I going? You will know when I get back. See y'all. And I got a friend with me. So all you gonna get. At the airport, where am I going? You will know when I get back.
I need
See
somebody to
y'all.
treat me like that. You just elbow PJ.
And I got a friend with me. So all you gonna get. At the airport, where am I going? You will know when I get back. See y'all.
Hit the like button.
And I got a friend with me. Update time. It's been a while, but I'm back, a little thicker, a little better. However, back to the story. So Anthony did ask me a question. If you don't know the story, I cheated on my husband with his best friend. He was sleeping with my best friend. Her child was possibly his. there's just a whole mix. If you didn't watch the whole story, I don't feel like telling you.
He slept with her 16 years ago.
But anyways, now to our update. So Anthony asked me a question while we were at Arizona's. It's not the Pally relationship, anything like that. His question was if my daughter with him, who is 6 years old, is his child. So there's someone that I haven't really talked about in the story because she didn't come up until this part. But he had said that a little while ago, one of my friends named Jasmine had told him, like a little birdie on his shoulder, that he possibly was not the father of our 6-year-old daughter. So, if I can't say if you know Jasmine, you know she's like the sweetest person. But anyways, so Jasmine has one son. She's around a lot as well. She's around a little more than Jessica was, just because, just our relationship. She was more like, she was a little more like social, I would say. So, she used to come around a lot. You would never think in a million years that this is the type of person who would do that. However, the last relationship that she was in was with the father of her child. Her child is going to be 13 this year now. And I know the father of her child. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So fast forward to now, he had asked me if our older daughter was his daughter. And I'm like, okay, well, what the hell? Like, of course, but where'd you get this information? What made you think that? Like, she looks, if you ever see her, like, she looks like a white version of him. Like, she's super bright. And he's, like, on the darker side. But anyways, so apparently Jasmine had told him this. And they ended up having a little situation as well. So it kind of makes sense as to why, like with Jessica in his situation, I feel like she wanted to keep it so under wraps. Like she really didn't want anyone to know. So she was like, she tried to stay away from me as much as she can. Like she tried to not be around both of us together, I feel like, as much as she could. So it was more with Jasmine, she always wanted to be around, but I just thought it was because that's the type of friendship we had. Like, I just thought, oh, she just loves me. I was wrong. Apparently she is the main side piece. And they have been having an entire, like, side relationship. Here's the tea from that situation. Him and I have a joint account, right? I said that in the past stories. We have a joint account. He gets direct deposit. I don't look at paychecks. We don't do any of that stuff. Like, I don't want to see your paycheck and see how many taxes were taken out. None of that bullshit. So anyways, he has his company set up with direct deposit, or his paycheck set up with direct deposit. And come to find out, he was sending 20% of all his paychecks into another account, which was for her. So, yeah, there's that. And no, it is not because he is the father of Jasmine's son. He's not the father of Jasmine's son. Like I said, I know who's the father of Jasmine's son. But anyways, that's neither here nor there, like I said. So he has been putting this money into her account because he wants to take care of her. She doesn't have the means to do things on her own, and he didn't want her to move on with somebody else and not have the open relationship that they have. So this is everything that he's laying on me at Arizona's. Apparently he had a bit too much to drink at that point, so I was just getting all the tea. So he has been taking care of her for the past couple years. Mind you, it probably, I didn't get the time, I didn't ask for the amount of time, but it was probably a little longer than Jess, to be honest with you. But yeah, so keep in mind, he first has the DNA tests pending for Jess's daughter, who's 16. And then he has the DNA pending for the other girl's daughter. And
The moral of the story is she's a cheater. And she trying to figure out any way that she can blame this on him. And without her cheating on him and getting away with it and being okay with, okay, so I cheated on him. Because you know what? He cheated on me too. So it's okay. Whatever.
and then now he's trying to pen the DNA test with my daughter. So I'm just like, piece of shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is not the type of human that I thought I was married to, like, at all. But for the DNA for Jess, we know that that was pending. And I do have the results of that one for her 16-year-old. We have been waiting for some time, and we did it through, like, I don't know what the services are called. Anyways, so we did get the DNA results for her older daughter when I was on vacation. And that's not his daughter, so that's something to be thankful for. He's not the father of the 16-year-old. The one for the 4-year-old, he hasn't gotten back yet. That's more like a little recent. And then for my daughter, he obviously was the father. So right now he's one out of 3 the father, and 1 out of 3 not the father. So that's kind of what's been going on in his life. For everybody who is asking if we are still together, him and I did go on vacation. He was the one who came with me to Puerto Rico. It's actually a trip that we faithfully have done for some time every year. And we committed to doing that this year as well. So I do have some videos from that I'll be posting. Anyways, back to the story. So yeah, he's not the father. But anyways, to Jasmine. So Jasmine is
What y'all think they did on vacation? They played Pinochle, Uno verse, draw 2.
a great friend. Like, she is
I ain't
amazing.
gonna lie.
I was
I've
actually
been
a
up
little more
since
brokenhearted
7 this
that
morning.
she had this going on with my husband, because of the extent that they went. Like, I feel like with Jess, he was more like, okay, I just want you for what I want you for, nothing more. But with Jasmine, it was like a whole nother relationship on the side. And then why are you sticking within the freaking friend group? Like, there's so many damn people in this world. But anyways, so that was the end of our conversation. He got that out. We currently are only waiting for the girls' DNA test. But I ended up calling Jasmine. I actually wanted to meet up with her, with both of them. Because though she is the sweetest person, I didn't know the level of honesty that I would get from her. I feel like she would have lied, and I feel like because he told me everything, that I needed him to kind of be there to be like, oh, well, that's true. Here's this, and here's that. So we called up Jasmine, and she wasn't like in town. She was away in New Jersey for the weekend. However, we planned to meet the following weekend. When I go outside, I feel like there are quick update. So I did end up trying to reach out to Jasmine. We had no response. I called her, I texted her, she wasn't responding. So Anthony was trying to call and text as well, and she wasn't responding to him either. So we gave up for like that day, and we ended up trying the next day, and her phone was completely disconnected. The first day when we were calling, it was just going to voicemail, but the following day it was just completely disconnected. So I went over to her house, and I was knocking, well, not her house, her apartment, and I was knocking on her apartment door, and she wasn't answering the door. Mind you, I did notice that her car wasn't there anyways when I pulled up, so I was just taking a chance to see if she would answer the door. And she didn't, and her son didn't either, so I kind of figured, like, okay, they're not home. But they also changed their phone number. So fast forward to a couple weeks, we didn't hear anything back from her. Now keep in mind, as I mentioned before, she was normally like around a lot. Like she was around a lot. She used to hang out a lot. I talked to her at least like 3-4 times a week. Like we were really close. So this kind of like behavior it wasn't normal for her. So we kind of just gave up. We didn't know like how to get in touch with her. I mean, I know her sister and I know her mom, but not enough where I'm just gonna like call them and be like, hey, where's Jasmine? Plus, I really didn't know how much they knew, and I didn't want to seem like I was trying to do anything like threatening or harming to her, because I wasn't. So fast forward a little more, one of my friends who actually knows Jasmine as well because of the father of her child ended up telling me that she actually moved away to Florida from where we were living. So that was kind of odd because it happened at the exact time that I found out. Mind you, Anthony had started a new job, which had him frequently going to Florida. So it was a little funny how that happened. But anyways, we ended up talking a little more about it. Anthony and I, that is. And he said he had no like indication that she was gonna move. He had no idea about what was going on. And I asked him, so why did you all of a sudden start this new job that has you traveling down to, Florida? And it was like a new interest. Like I said, she ended up moving, he ended up getting this new job, and it all happened during the time when I found out about what they had going on. So I end up going to like a brunch type of situation with a couple of my friends. And when we were there, one of my friends is actually, like I said, mutual friends with the father of Jasmine's son. So she had some tea for us. So I'm at this brunch. It was me, another friend named Jasmine, the friend of the baby dad. I don't want to put her name out there. But anyways, so it was us three, and we went to brunch, and this one ended up telling me that Jasmine had moved away because she found out that she was pregnant. So, of course, my heart naturally was like, fuck. Like, what the hell, dude? I didn't want to immediately assume like, oh my gosh, this is his child. But it kind of made sense that it could have been because he was traveling down there for his new job, and she ended up moving down there out of nowhere once I found out what was going on. So we haven't seen Jasmine since, and that was about a year ago. So I have nothing to go off right now when it comes to the situation with Jasmine. Okay, final update, grand finale for the entire story. It's a story, literally. It's a book that I was inspired to write because of a dream that I had, where I cheated on my husband, and I woke up and I was so freaking traumatized that I told my husband about this dream, and I told my friend, and my friend was like, oh my gosh, Jess, that's like a great like story you should write. So I was super inspired by it and kind of kept it going with a lot of my friends. And yeah, so it's actually a book that I am writing. I'm glad to see all of the feedback and, you know, copying or what is it, adding or whatever you guys do to tag other people, tagging other people like Tyler Perry, Netflix, Tubi, all of that about the story. But yes, it was a story that I'm considering writing. So, and it is copywritten for anyone who tries to steal my story. But yes, there goes your final update. My husband and I are actually super happily married. He's my bestie, and he was the one who actually pushed as well for me. Babe.
Anyway, there you have it. We finalized the Cheeto.
Quick update. So
All right. So now that we got that out the way, what do y'all think? I think she just cheated because she wanted to cheat. It had nothing to do with her husband cheating. It was her just cheating. That was it. And that's how you do it. You cheat, she cheats. Y'all listen, both of y'all wrong. Y'all shouldn't be in a marriage together. In fact is, he got kids all across America. Call this nigga kids across America. He got kids from when he was 16 to the time he was 25 before he even met you. And it just is what it is. Sometimes it is what it is. But you know what? At this point, I'm actually over all they cheating. I'm over because it's just a bunch of cheating. It's just a bunch of cheating. No, nobody wins when people get cheated on. Nobody wins. When people get cheated on, nobody wins. The kids don't win. The family don't win. Nothing. You know. Look, if I want to be like, okay, you know what? She's straight for cheating. She's not straight for cheating, but in the case, in the situation that she has been caught cheating, and then she goes back and she goes back and does her investigation, and she finds out he's cheated. She finds out he got all these kids. Now she's like, you know what? He 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 did me wrong, so I don't feel bad about me cheating. You don't feel bad about cheating? What? It's just, well, he, ev- everything is good. He cheated, so like I'm okay with him cheating. I'm okay with him cheating. I'm okay. He cheated. I'm okay. I cheat. It's okay. No, it ain't okay. None of it's okay. Like, we're too old for that. How old are you, man? 40. Yeah. Like when you reach a certain point in life, especially in marriage, cheating's not okay. She said it's not true. I don't know. Did she say it's not true? I was this man. It was just like, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I was listening to. I kind of got. I kept getting checked out. Like, I was like, man, it was like the same thing. That's why people saying she was lying the whole time. Maybe she was lying the whole time. Maybe she was lying, because if you lying about, oh my God, like, you better be lying about this, because oh my God, like, this is just too much. Like, we shouldn't be doing this. You know what I mean? Like, I promise you, like, I'm not about to get married to cheat. Like, I'm not. E- Even when I was like younger, I didn't get married to cheat. I got married. I didn't cheat, but if I if I was more mature when I was married, I would have fixed my marriage instead of leaving it. But I was treating my marriage like a relationship. And I was like, it is what it is. I don't give a damn. I'm out. But cheating in a marriage is like, I put forth all this effort into loving you, making sure you trust me, making sure I trust you, and then I go cheat. That don't that don't resonate with me. But whatever. It is what it is. Tomorrow we have a better video, because I just had to finish this because I didn't finish it last night. What happened was, I had a friend who had gotten into an altercation and got pum pum. Anyway, we too old for that too. Like, we too old to be getting shot. Like, every time I get out of bed, I feel like I got shot. Like, but to get shot in real life, but he's doing okay. And I told y'all that story of how we were stealing cars back in the day. I was telling y'all how we don't do that no more. But anyway, um, but yeah, then so I said I'm gonna come back and finish this story, which I was just like, man, she had so many updates. Yeah. And then somebody said the story ain't, man, I don't know. I don't know if I believe it or not. I think I think there's some truth to every lie. I think there's some truth to every lie. It is what it is. Y'all y'all might not believe it, but when I if y'all ever hear me say, like, if y'all ever when I be talking on this channel and I say some wild stuff, like I say something really crazy, y'all be like, I can't believe he said that. I can't believe he said that. Does he really mean that? There's this much chance that I'm telling y'all the truth. There's a little bit of truth in every lie. Even if I'm just jonesing, even if I'm just acting a fool on her, and I'm saying a bunch of wild stuff, and I'm just being me and being funny, there's a small chance I could be telling y'all the truth. So y'all gotta take it how you want. Whenever y'all see something like this, versus, you know. So everyday people, man, we'll be back tomorrow. It'll be Monday, Memorial Day. We're gonna keep it lit, though. We're gonna keep it lit. Tomorrow I got a very good video. I promise y'all. Y'all gonna be like, we back to being messy. We back to being messy. Okay? Messy is as messy does. Thank you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow. So be here, be there or be